May is Mental Health Awareness Month. For producers, often stress can be tied to concerns about their financial futures. Now, one banker is talking about what he's experienced in his more than 20 years serving farmers and how many left his office with a new perspective and a chance to hang on to hope. This story is from the Idaho Farm Bureau.
My name is Aaron Zimmerman, and I work with D.L. Evans Bank in Eagle, Idaho. I had a couple clients that, were feeling the direct impacts of the 2008 financial setback in the economy, the Great Recession. And I would see some of these people around town, maybe at the grocery store, out at a restaurant, and everything always looked fine. And then one day, one of them came into my office came over to my office, knocked on my door and said, "Hey, do you mind if I come in to talk to you?" And I said, "Sure, absolutely." And he came in and he shut the door. Usually people don't shut my door behind them unless they want to talk about something very private. I had an office that was set away from the lobby, but when he shut the door, and I thought, okay, there's a 50-50 chance this is not going to be a pleasant conversation. But then he turned the blinds. So the blinds were closed and the door was shut, and I didn't know where this conversation was about to go. But he sat at my desk and was telling me about how things were going and how he was concerned about the economy. And then he just broke down over my desk crying. He just kind of poured out to me how worried he was about things turning south for everybody. And then I just kind of switched from banker to being just full-fledged friend, listening to somebody tell me the things that they were worried and concerned about and the things that were driving his fear. And he was just like, how am I going to make it through this? We actually had a good plan written out, and I said, let's look over our plan again and talk about the things that were important to you, like when you first met me. So we recapped on those things. And it was understandable, all the benchmarks, the goals that we had set for him when I first met him, he was still hitting. But he was hearing all this negative news in the media, and that was just compounding his fears. And he was just thinking, how was his operation going to fit in the greater equation of the economy, and what was going to be the direct impact to him? And by the time I left Ellensburg, about 2 months before that, he walked in and he said, you wrote out a 7-year plan for me to pay off my farm, and here we are 5.5 years into that 7-year plan, and I'm writing you a check to pay off the last remaining balance of my farm loan. And that was an incredible feeling. A lot of times, you can sense stress in conversations that you're having with people, even if they're doing their best to try to cover it up. A lot of times people come in and they're trying not to wear their emotions on their sleeve, but you can, and maybe it's because I went through a time in my personal life where you can just sort of sense that there are things going on between the ears, the battle between the ears, that they're not telling you, and then you just ask a few more questions. What's really your fear? What are the things that you're worried about? And then if they tell you, what their fears are and the things that are keeping them up at night, maybe it's something we can help mitigate together. And that's our job as well, is to help extinguish your fears so you can go home and sleep better at night. And but yeah, the job of being a banker is not just financial analysis, it's also being a friend and trying to help a friend through a tough time.